सगळे आमचे CCR TV पळोवण्याक माय मोगाचो येवकार. आनीक एक एपिसोड तुमचे दोळ्यांचे मुखार इज पॉलिटिक्स ए नोबल प्रोफेशन. On 14th of February 2022, Goan voters will stand in queue to cast their precious votes in the midst of this pandemic of COVID-19 and whatever you may call it. Will the vote bring in the desired change that has been elusive so far? People by and large are disillusioned with the type of governance that has been seen for the last 10 years. Once allies, now they have become enemies. We take for example, BJP and MGP were allies. Now MGP has aligned with TMC. The NCP has broken an understanding with Shiv Sena, who earlier were an ally of BJP. Choosing the best and the right candidate or party is not going to be easy. We have a formidable ex-bureaucrat turned politician with us to share his views and his aims and objectives and the goals that you would like to score if elected, and has been in charge of the corporation of the city in Panjim for quite some times. He is the candidate from Panjim, from the Indian National Congress, and he is very well equipped to share with us what Panjim needs and also what his party Congress has in store for all of us. We welcome Mr. Elvis Gomes, the former commissioner that we have, and you were in several frontal sports organizations of the government of Goa. Welcome, Mr. Elvis.
Thank you.
Could you share us, you have been the commissioner for quite some time, and you were selected at that time to be the commissioner. What do you think were the goals at that time? What has happened, and what do you think needs to be done?
The goals that time were very clear before us when I was the commissioner. We had a good compatible municipal corporation consisting of councillors who had some vision and with whom we could discuss so many things and plan out and chalk out things. Down the line, I have only seen degradation of a city which is well known for its cultural heritage. Today nobody is talking about these kind of aspects. City is just, I can say, getting plundered by infusing taxpayers' money. Like for example, when I talk about smart city mission, what is happening is public money is put without any holistic plan. As a result, I can only see degradation, deterioration, and by using taxpayers' money. You understand? What is needed right now is a people's participation, through people's participation, a plan, and that plan for which equally the people are also responsible. Their needs, their requirements are captured and it is implemented. This is what the city needs.
I remember that at that time they had gone for a concrete road from Miramar to Donapaula, and now we are told that the beach also is being concretized.
This is what precisely I am saying, because there is no people's participation, the public participation. See, believe me, and you are a resident of this town, there are professionals who are engineers, there are who are architects, the best. You have the best of them in Panjim. You have the good lawyers, you have good physicians, everything you have. But are these people consulted on what is the need of this? You have good environmentalists. Miramar Beach is a jewel in the crown of Panjim. Today you can only see it is deteriorating because somebody thinks concretization is the answer. It is not the answer. They are defying everybody. They are defying public opinion. And they are putting taxpayers' money to concretize the beach. I precisely agree with you. If you remember, when that concrete road was being made, it was supposed to be state-of-the-art road. See the condition of that road today. 150 crores were spent on constructing already existing road, surfacing that road with concrete and with some illumination poles which were supposed to be different. There is nothing smart about that road. That road is a bumpy road, and there are no proper, you can say, footpaths. They are not maintained. This is what we get when we have no participation from the public.
And wherever there is a heavy rain, all roads get flooded.
That is what I'm saying. When a city is chosen to be a smart city, particularly under central funding and state funding, a complete plan is required. The money has to be utilized. You have to learn your lessons. You have to learn by experience. Panjim is prone to flooding. It is a slightly low-lying area. And you have the Mandovi banks. You should have a complete proper network. This network was, people say, was existing, and I have seen it with my own eyes when I was the commissioner the first time. A well-built underground network below the roads. It's something marvelous.
That was what we inherited from the Portuguese.
That's what I'm saying. The Portuguese had planned it in such a way that I was shocked when the roads were being excavated. A well laid down, big, as tall as 8 feet down the road, below the road, taking all the drainage into the Mandovi, which has been completely destroyed by the present system, the governance that we have seen in the past couple of years.
And what do you think about the state of the roads that we have in Panjim?
There is no state of any road because the road is made, it is tarred, it is surfaced, the level of that road goes higher every year, and suddenly you one fine day see people digging on the road. They do not know, people do not know what is this digging for. And even now, right now in Panjim, there is a massive digging. That digging is supposed to be for cables for CCTVs. 128 crores component out of the 700 crores is earmarked for CCTVs on Panjim. Believe me, this work, which should have cost not less than 20-25 crores, is being done for 128 crores. Even assuming it is 128 crores, the kind of damage that you are doing to the other infrastructure of the town is something which cannot be conceived. No prudent person will accept what is being done right now in Panjim.
Was this project of Smart City, was it thought of, initiated or launched during your term as the commissioner?
For the first time, the government of India at that time under Dr. Manmohan Singh had come out with a massive plan called the Jawaharlal Nehru Urban Renewal Mission. All that this government has done is, they don't like to hear the name of Nehru. So they have just sidelined that, and they have converted into Smart City Mission, Atal plan, Atal mission. Atal is got to do with synonym with Atal Bihari Vajpayee, but that is a mission whereby they talk about infrastructure, urban rejuvenation and all these kind of aspects. But basically at that time, Jawaharlal Nehru mission was a well-defined mission. It was a grant in aid. It was not even a loan, it was a grant in aid, where I remember Panji then in the year 2008 was entitled to a benefit of 500 crores. That time, all that the government did, all that the BJP that has been at the helm of affairs in this town particularly did was just to scuttle it, and nothing. So many projects were approved. Santines Creek, if you talk about, rejuvenation of that Santines Creek was approved. Heritage, so many heritage projects were approved. Even I remember Panaji Church was one of the beneficiary, the recipient of this, something like that time 3 crores of grant in aid. Despite money coming in the treasury, no work was done, and all that money had to go back.
Now we hear about this Santanage Creek, not for the last 2, 3, 5, maybe 10 years, maybe even before that, and the biggest noise was made by the late Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar. Do you mean to say it takes about 15 to 20 years to set it right?
No. That is only assurances, but no action. And post Manohar Parrikar also, there has been sufficient noise made by the later politicians, but nothing concrete has been done. This is one of the key area where there is scope to rejuvenate that water body. People talk about it, people say that they used to fish in that. All that we see is now it has been converted into a gutter. And from 94, BJP is at the helm of affairs here. I assure you and I assure the people that this will be a priority area. This can be achieved. It is nothing, it's not rocket science. There are so many people in Panjim who are ready to give solutions. Like I remember Dr. Nandakumar Kamath had given it to me once long back, but my tenure that time was cut short. We had initiated flushing from the indoor stadium at Kampal, because there is a tributary that goes. Yes. And if you allow that ingress of tidal water, a lot could be achieved. So it is something achievable. It doesn't require 25 years to get it done.
But what is the problem? Why it has not found?
If you keep the issue lingering, you can talk about it every election. That we will do this, we will do this. I don't believe in all these kind of things. Once you say that it will be done, it has to be done.
And parking is a very big headache, especially during the night time. You come across the old secretariat and those areas, Southam area, all those residents are upset that they don't get a peace even to have a proper sleep.
Yes, in my campaign, door-to-door campaign, this has been brought to my notice, and even otherwise I am aware of what the spillover effect of the casinos has been. At this juncture, I am not talking about whether casinos should be there or not should be there, because it is a decision. I am a member of the Indian National Congress, it will have to be a party decision. Notwithstanding, what I can say right now is, it is a need of the hour that this traffic is streamlined. More than that, what is offensive even to hear is people who come convert that particular zone as an open urination zone. This has been happening. So many residents have complained to me. I have myself seen it. And so, if we are responsible to something, it is time these things are stopped. If you have your casinos, it doesn't mean you send people down and convert this whole area into a free-for-all. This cannot be. So, my view on this is that these things have to be streamlined. Traffic has grown. We have to admit that traffic overall has grown. Merely because you do pay parking, introduce pay parking, nothing has changed. The quality of life of people has not changed. The manner in which it has to be done, the manner in which you have to run public transportation system within the presence of the city, all these aspects have to be taken care of, and it's not difficult. There in JNNURM, I remember still, there was a huge component of money to do this, which was not achieved by these people.
But why these things, when they are very specific, why they are not being implemented?
That is because, see, they don't have any accountability to the people. There is no measurement of what their promises are and what is the delivery in the course of the period that they are there at the helm of affairs. That is why I have been harping time and again that people's participation can make a difference. A truly democratic system must have people to give their views. The people's needs have to be brought forth by the people themselves, and solution is a
But by and large, the present dispensation, the present governance, they like to silence everyone.
Yeah, so that is the reason why, that cloud of fear over the people, the cloud of fear, the deterrent, the vindictiveness that is being shown by these people, that has to be cut to size, and this is the time for that. This is the time, because see, we have chosen to be in democracy. It is our choice that we should be in a democracy. When we are in a democracy, we should be free, our mind should be free. All the systems, the institutions, the government, the legislature, the press, and even the judiciary must remain in their respective domains and freely act within the powers given to them. This is not happening.
Because
not happening.
Once you are the MLA of Panjim, most of the work has to be undertaken by the corporation.
It has to be, and we have people's representatives in the corporation. We can create a structure where every work within the city is brought within the ambit of the corporation, of course with safeguards. People talk that there will be more corruption, there will be some other issues and all, everything can be checked. We can have systems in place, but bringing the whole thing under one umbrella. And when Jawaharlal Nehru mission was brought in, remember, one of the principal requirement of that mission was that decentralization has not only to be done but should be seen to be done. I mean decentralization of all basic services, all your water supply, your other health, primary health and all these kind of issues should be brought under the ambit of the corporation. If that happens, I think there will be sufficient public participation and reach of these benefits to the people.
But normally it is perceived that big projects means big corruption.
Yes, and big projects means big corruption, and big projects are handled by special purpose vehicles like GSIDC, like this smart city mission, what do you call that, they have formed, Imagine Panaji, and whereby it is so surprising that the entire corporation is in the dark about these projects, which are now being done in the city of Panaji. How can such a situation even be thought about, that a corporation which is responsible is completely ignored? There is not even a member on this corporation called Imagine Panaji Smart City mission. So what are they doing? What is the government doing in this city? And the legacy of all the destruction that is done will have to be borne by the people.
Yeah. Also, I remember at one time people were shouting about no football stadium in Panjim, because we had one at Bandokar Stadium at Kampal. Then it was demolished or whatever it is, and people were demonstrating, but after that nothing has happened.
That's what I said when I initially began with the culture, the heritage. Football was a strong culture. It is our heritage. And Bandodkar, you know better than me, by being in the thick of action when it comes to football and sports, that Bandodkar ground was reverberating with the noise and the whatever surrounding the game of football. Unfortunately, in the first IFI, it was demolished, even without consulting the people. When public reacted, the then late Chief Minister had said that something would be done to reconstruct. Being a member of that fraternity of football with you, I thought that when I was in the Urban Development Department, we should remind the Chief Minister that look, this was the assurance, and that is the time he agreed, and he told me, okay, you plan it in a proper manner on the Kampal Parade ground side, and that is why I had taken it as my responsibility to see that all the plans were made and that entire garbage heap was cleared from there. But I do not know after that what has happened and why that ground has still not come up for the people of Panjim.
Because Panjimites are being deprived.
Yes.
For no reason.
For no reason. And how can you even think that a capital city of Goa does not have a football ground when football has been declared as the state sports? How can it be? And what are the youth supposed to do? How will they even take to football without a proper ground?
And there is a fear now, if and when it is built, the locals will not be allowed to utilize it, because the charges that are being levied to utilize this, somebody said you have a taxi, you own a taxi, so you earn from that taxi. Your wife and children on a Sunday tell, Papa, let's go for an outing. Will you charge your wife and children also?
I think you have touched an excellent point, a very excellent point. I was responsible, today I can boast about it, I was responsible, I led this team that created this Shama Prasad Mukherjee. You were there in the Lusophonia games, comparing the inaugural games, I still remember. All that infrastructure, whether it is the Shama Prasad, whether it is the stadium opposite the Goa Medical College, whether the refurbishment of the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, they don't like to call it Jawaharlal Nehru anymore, at Fatorda, or whether it is the practice grounds at Pede, and all the other practice grounds in Salsette, whether it is Verna, Benauli, Kunkoli, Naveli, Raya, everything was done under my leadership. I don't know in whose thinking it has been that these facilities have to be now charged. The users of these facilities have to be charged. This is something ridiculous.
But these are to be used by your own children.
These are to be used freely by the budding sports persons through the respective associations. I am shocked when they talk about charges being levied on the associations. The other day, basketball fraternity was telling me that they are unable to use it because of the huge charges. For whom?
Even the Nehru Stadium, for that matter, 2 lakhs.
This is, their mentality is gone sick when it comes to sports. Let me declare it. All these facilities belong to the people of Goa. Of course, they have to be maintained, but there is a separate budget of the taxes that we pay. These facilities have to be freely available to any sporting association. When you talk about stadium, football stadium, it should be available to your Goa Football Association freely, because we prepare the players. We have the state championships, we have the national championships, of which government also is a stakeholder, government also is a collaborator. Ultimately, it is our money. Why should you be charged for that? This is something ridiculous. I am assuring you that the Congress party, I have been the co-chairman of the manifesto committee. I am taking liberty to say at this juncture, because I have asked this, that we will ensure that all these sporting facilities are given to the people of Goa free of charge, of course, through the respective associations.
Now, Panjim is the capital of the state. What is unique about Panjim being the capital of the state?
Panjim holds a place of pride in every Goan as the capital city, and among the tourists, it is a glorious city. It is a small town, but anyone, any tourist that comes to Goa does not give it a miss. It has got a rich heritage. You have the Latino quarters where you come from, something unique. You have the hill, Altino Hill. Then you have the river, along the town. That gives it completely a different kind of aura. And then you have the Arabian Sea on the other side. What we have done to this town is, even if it was allowed to be as it is, it would have been really, the glorious past would have still remained alive. All that is being done is recklessness. All that is being done is something that no sane person, a Panjimite who truly loves the town can even think of. So that is what needs to be arrested. We have to come together, we have to put things in place, and we have to maintain the original character of this place.
You talked about heritage. The place where I live is Latin quarters, whatever it is. You have this side Kampal also. What are the benefits that the people living in these heritage zones get? Even they say they could have a whitewashed their buildings or whatever it is, and given something more beautiful and add to the glory of the place.
There lies what I am talking about, is the collaboration between the government and the people there. Those people need support. That is in the conservation zone. So those people need support in every aspect, because if you see on any given day, quality tourists are seen, admiring. They are simply there in awe. Oh, this is in Panjim, this is in Goa. They carry memories of this, something unique which is not there in any other part of India. So when it comes to this, it is also the duty of a good government to ensure that these people get a package, these people get all the support to maintain these structures, and also convert these structures into something of a better tourist attraction, and where their economy also prospers. Their participation, I mean, that some economic benefit also flows to these people. This is in my mind, and I assure you that something on these lines can be worked out.
You go to some places in São Tomé, there are buildings which are crumbling simply because nobody lives there. And they say that people's families are multiplying and they cannot continue occupying this with all the family members.
That is a legal aspect of it, but nevertheless we can definitely sit across the table, come out with solutions where everybody benefits. I cannot go too much into details of this, time constraints are there, but believe me, we can preserve these houses, preserve them for posterity, because this is something is unique and you will never get it back. We can preserve it, but it definitely needs a little bit of capital infusement from the government.
On the whole, as a party, do you have any plans to preserve the ecology, the environment and the heritage of Goa?
Yes, we have taken key areas in our manifesto, whether it is economy or the environment, and definitely heritage holds a strong place in our manifesto. We have to preserve our glorious past. That doesn't mean we don't move into the future. We today are confused. Is Panjim a city of the future or it is a city of the glorious past? We have to move into the future without forgetting our glorious past. There has to be a balance. So I believe, and I put it in the manifesto also, that Panjim and several other areas in Goa which are of heritage value will be preserved, and ample support will be given to see that our heritage is kept alive.
From the past experience, the past elections, the BJP holds about 32% at that time. Now it could have gone down slightly because some of them also have deserted and are deserting their own party. That remains to about 60% plus. Do you think with the fractured opposition, and in Panjim you have one of them who is contesting as independent, I'm talking about Utpal Parikar, and then you have got your Congress vote, you have the BJP, what do you see?
I see a picture, when it comes to, since you took the name of Utpal is fighting for his space in the BJP. He has been deprived of that space, that is what he feels, and that is what the public reads it as. He wants to regain that place, so he wants to win and go back into the BJP in another way. For me, it is the BJP in any form, whether it is the official form or the unofficial form. For me, that BJP has to be defeated. That BJP should not find any place in Goa anymore, because particularly the last 5 years, all that we are seeing is we are losing our peace of mind. Our cohesion, our unity, our harmony, everything is being brought under a threat. So much so, recently the Chief Minister had the audacity to even, remind people of some temples which even Hindus are not buying this theory. See, since liberation now 60 years, we are in complete peace with one another. Most of our friends come from different communities. We don't even think who we are. And somebody comes and reminds us something which might not have happened also. So this is the kind of thing that they are up to just to get the vote.
The polarization will not attract a Goans.
Polarization will not happen. By and large, every segment of society is disillusioned with the BJP. And that is going to reflect in the results that will come post 14th of February. I think it's time to give them a break and keep them on the sidelines.
Also, we have seen a lot of problems on unemployment and corruption and money for securing government jobs.
Being in the thick of government earlier in my past, I can only say that morality, the conscience, everything has been thrown to the winds. Nothing is surviving. We talk of Article 16, equality, Article 14, everything has been given a go by. It is very palpable what has happened, that people have been deprived, people on merit have been deprived to put somebody's stooges and to put people who do not have the merit. But the consequences people will have to face for this. What will happen is, for the next 25-30 years, these people will be occupying the chairs, and you cannot expect delivery of governance, delivery of services by these people in an efficient manner, and then the consequences will be public suffering.
Most people feel that with a fractured mandate now in the opposition, so many new parties also have now joined, that it will only help the present dispensation of the BJP.
That is what people think and talk about, but I think the writing is very clear on the wall that people want the BJP out. People are smart when it comes to voting. They will not allow their votes to, fritter the value of their vote to get
But if
dissipated.
there is a split among these parties, the ultimate beneficiaries will be the BJP.
See, people after BJP are looking to Congress as an alternative, serious alternative, and I can get that feeling, and because I am in touch with a lot of people, that people will this time repose their faith in the Congress and not allow that vote split to take place.
Do you think that Goa needs people who will protect Goa from coal, infrastructure projects and environmental destruction?
Yes, that is the core ideology which we believe in the Goa Congress, and I think it has found its place in the manifesto too. We have said no to all these things, particularly the 3 linear projects we have said that we will not allow.
And what about the double tracking? Because they are saying that it will destroy the verdant countryside, destroy our health, our homes, farmlands, and village water bodies.
I think Congress is the only party that has talked against this double tracking, because see, finally the double tracking is meant only for the transportation of coal. And see, we have, as a matter of policy, very strongly advocated that we are against this coal handling in Goa. We do not want Goa to be converted into a coal hub. It is very clear. No other party has said this. Remember that. No other party has said anything against the coal that is being imported into Goa. So you can understand why. Congress is the party
Big
that
players,
has
no, ultimately. What is your final message to your voters and the people of Goa at large?
My final message to the people of Goa is, you put your trust in the Congress. I know in the past there have been some difficulties for you particularly to believe in the wake of defections and whatever that has taken place. But this time the Congress has very clearly come to the firm conclusion that there cannot be place for defectors, and as a result you see among the 36 candidates that we have declared, most of them are new faces. Sufficient representation has been given even to the youth, and I think with this Congress has shown that it is serious and is turning a new leaf.
Thank you, Elvis Bab, for being with us. And I am sure that Goa has to be spared and saved for posterity as well as prosperity. Do you agree with that?
Of course, I agree with that.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thank you. Thank you.